reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 215. I'm Chris and I am joined once again by the master of all things MMO, Mr. at MMO Bill. Hello Bill.
Your face is a master of all things MMO.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you. Now, Bill, have you heard about Layanor's latest trophy that he's won?
I'm assuming it's another Pants Award.
He has. He's been making a tour of the Eastern Seaboard, and he has won this time the New England Patriot of Patriots Awards for the most patriotic pants worn by the most patriotic patriot. Layanor. Hi, Layanor.
Hey, I'm used to wearing pants now.
What, have you had to go outside or something?
It's more like giving up.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Beaten to submission.
That's right. We won, Bill.
Yep. It's the world is a pantsier place for it. It's one pants at a time. One pant at a time.
One pair of pants at a time. Yes, no. Apparently that's it. We're done on that joke. That joke is now officially dead. You can have the wake, have a drink, have a toast. It is dead. Thank you, Layanor. What have you played?
I played a little bit of the Secret World. Issue 11 came out, and I haven't gotten into the new area yet, but I'm gathering a bunch of money and things that I need because I was absolutely broke from everything. So I even had to repair all of my weapons and my gear and stuff, so
Aww.
I was wrecked. Apparently the last event that I went through was the one with all the giants and titans and stuff running around, the golems, that's what they were. And I was just so diehard into killing them over and over and over for like the entire week that I totally disregarded any repairs. So I'll be getting into that. I did play Lotro because that the update 16 just came out, and I took a look at my weapons. So I'm looking at my weapons, trying to figure out the things that the legacies that they changed and removed. And I'm also running around trying to open up the new areas in the new map to have the travel points so I can go there whenever I need to. I have been doing a Let's Play of The Darkness 2. I don't know if you guys know that game or not.
I do not. I'm going to guess it's dark.
It's dark. It's very dark.
And let me wait. Let me add. It's dark again.
Oh, because it's part 2. Yeah. Basically, it's about a mafia guy that loses everything, like his girlfriend and everything, and he gains like these demon powers of darkness to exact his revenge on everybody. So I've finished that, and I'm really happy I played that game. Now I wish I could play the first one, but it's only on consoles, unfortunately.
Did he try looking under the cushions of the couch? Because that's where I lose everything.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's always the last place that I look for it.
Right.
Mainly because I stopped terrible. Right back there.
Apparently, Layanor is not in on any of the jokes tonight. Thank you, sir.
It's the pants that distracting him.
That's right.
It's the
blocks
pants.
the blood
Makes
flow.
my legs itchy. They're not tight pants. Come on. And I played Guild Wars 2 a little bit. A friend of mine from a listener of the show came on my Skype and was like, hey, we haven't played something in a while. So I got on to Guild Wars 2 and we leveled up. I think I'm level 65 now, I think.
That's not bad.
Okay,
You're getting there.
good.
One of the
Pretty
two.
good.
Are you remembering to upgrade your gear from time to time?
Yes.
The
Yes.
hearts, right?
I learned my lesson. I'm learning a lot of lessons this year. Bill, what have you been doing?
Well, believe it or not, I played Guild Wars 2.
You did not.
I did.
You did.
And I believe I've uncovered incontrovertible proof that hell has actually frozen over. So hang with me for a minute. We're gonna get we're gonna make a little fun of Alberta here because this is what we do on this show. So first of all, the Flames actually beat the Ducks in a game, which in a playoff game no less. So that's sign one. Hell frozen over. Sign two is that there's a left-wing government now in charge of the province of Alberta, which to put it in an American context, that would essentially be like a completely democratic government running Texas. So hell frozen over, point 2.
Yep.
Hell frozen over, point 3. I actually played structured PvP in Guild Wars 2.
Whoa.
Which is something that I never actually believed would actually happen, and it did.
No,
and
I don't believe you.
But 4, I actually saw hell freeze over because it snowed in Edmonton in the middle of May.
I'm there in a few weeks, man. Yeah.
Anyway, so structured PvP was actually fun. Chris dared me to try it essentially, and I did, and we were terrible. I think the first game we popped in, the matches are all basically cumulative points that you earn points for killing opponents and holding objectives on the map and that kind of thing. And the first team to 500 points wins. And I don't think we broke 50 points in the first game.
Nope.
I think it was like 500 to 26 or something like that, the final score. Yeah. So it was a little embarrassing. It was more than a little embarrassing. But we played a couple
even touch
matches.
them. Like no. Not even a little bit. There would be 3 of us there fighting one guy, and he'd be dancing around, pretty much thumbing his nose at us, going, neener, 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 smack, you're dead. Neener, 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 smack, you're dead. Yeah.
Now, to be fair, part of it was that I had terrible runes set up. Like I was hitting like a cooked noodle for all the power I had. So I basically swapped my runes around, changed my spec a bit and everything like that. And I got to the point where I was actually hitting like an uncooked noodle. So things got a little bit better after that. So it was actually fun. And
dancing around.
Terrible runes set up. Like I was hitting like I was expecting a lot of hate for being terrible. Like I was assuming that my team was going to look at me, roll their eyes and say, oh God, we have to deal with this noob now. And no, everybody was, I was going to say everybody was perfectly pleasant, but it wasn't even that. It was everybody was perfectly silent. I think,
no,
Chris,
there was,
you were the only one that said anything in chat the entire time.
No, there was one guy I blocked.
Oh, really?
He called us noobs and then a fairly racially charged word that
Canadians?
Yes, that is incredibly racially charged.
Right in feeling.
Yeah. No, I was the only one. At the start of the match, I said, good luck, have fun. And everybody else is like,
I thought I would have picked up on that. Maybe it was somebody that I've already blocked in the past for other things.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually pretty liberal when people are stupid in public chat.
Yeah. So anyways, I blocked him. And then we lost anyway. So, But then we didn't lose quite as bad, and then we didn't. Well, we almost didn't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think we ever won, but we almost didn't lose.
No, we won.
Did we win one? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, the last game we won 500. It was close. It was like 500 to 476 or something like that.
There you go.
Just barely won.
Canadians is a nationally charged word. Thanks, Ken from Chicago.
So,
I know I can
anyway.
always count on you.
So that was fun. I will probably do that again. I just also wanted to do a quick drop. We didn't do a news story on it this week just because otherwise we're going to be doing this like 8 weeks in a row. But the next kind of advanced class or advanced spec for Guild Wars 2 was announced. It's the Guardian spec, and they're calling it the Dragon Hunter. Essentially, it's Guardian with a bow.
And traps.
So which...
Because everybody loves traps in Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, apparently that's the thing, because that's two advanced classes that have both had traps be their thing. So I don't know what they're going to do when Necromancers come around, because Necromancers right now, that's what they do is traps.
Yeah,
so,
and boy, is there a lot of hate for that name. Holy cow. I've read several Reddit threads that are completely unhappy with the Dragon Hunter name, because really... Go try and take on Tequatl. We're all dragon hunters is the big theme that I see through all of this. And it's a fairly blah. I agree with them. I think it's a horrible name for it. It's somewhere between horrible and worst ever. It's fairly boring. I would like, they had a whole bunch of other possibilities that they thought fit, of course I can't remember them now, but just a little bit less pedestrian, I guess, in its name. Does that make sense?
I see where you're coming from. That wasn't my vibe. I actually didn't mind it. It's a guardian. They hunt dragons. That's what happens in Guild Wars 2. But
yeah, but so do the Rangers, so do the Necromancers, so do the... It sounds like a title, not an advanced class. This should be something that would be like, whoa, Dragon Hunter. So
Dracula in the chat room mentioned that they basically turned the Guardian into a Ranger. I don't think that's exactly what they've done.
A Petless Ranger.
Obviously given the Guardian a bow ability, but apparently they're making this spec line very buff focused. So the vision that they've got for the class is going to be that this is a character that kind of sits at the back line of combat, buffing the people in their immediate area and still being able to do some ranged damage. So I think the damage is. I think every class in Guild Wars 2 is mainly focused on damage, but the balance tips quite a bit more towards buffing for the spec line compared to every other spec line out there, basically. So it'd be interesting. I'd like the Mesra advanced spec. I'm
so, and Ken from Chicago just said it. It's a lot like a Petless Ranger. Right? That's my first comment about it. And a lot of people have been saying in Reddit and in forums and stuff like that if this is the way they need to get to their Petless Ranger, that's what it's going to be. That's what they're going to do. So
I don't hate that idea.
Yeah. I was thinking that it sounds like this would be really interesting for when we do our SPVP together, because you like to be the thief, you like to be up front and in the thick of things, and I would love to hang back and buff and keep you going as you fight. That could actually be a lot of fun. So I can see that this could be fun, but I'm just not super keen on the names, and I know that there's lots of people who are not keen on the traps idea. Mm-hmm. That's for some people, apparently that's a big deal breaker. So I'm throwing the trailer up here on the live stream for people to see. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like that idea of that game style, right? In groups, I think that'd be a little hard to play when you're so buff heavy. It's hard to play solo. Yeah.
Although Guild Wars buffs are kind of cool for that because they're all very short term and that kind of things.
Yeah.
So obviously it's multiplicatively powerful.
Wow.
See what I did there? Yeah.
$10 word right there.
In a group, it still does add a fair bit of power to you when you can apply decent buffs to yourself in a fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Dragon Hunter. The only other thing that I did this week that was really gaming related was I won pax-a-mole. I actually happened to be exactly on my phone at the exact moment that PAX tickets went on sale, and I got my PAX passes. So that is done deal. I will be at PAX 2015 in Seattle, being all PAXy and stuff.
Yay.
So that was an exciting moment because last year we had to scrape and forage and beg and plead and everything like that to get our passes because I missed the boat the first time around. And this time, being able to get in, it was like winning the lottery. It was like a prize. So I was super pleased about all that. So,
yeah, but your hotel queue did crash.
It's for the second year in a row on peak.
Where did you end up? We never connected after that. Where did you end up?
Oh, I've got a room at the Renaissance now, so which is the same hotel I was at last year. But this is the exact thing that happened.
So you're way out there
year.
again.
I had my rooms at the Grand Hyatt, which is my favorite hotel in for PAX visiting last year. And as I hit reserve, the whole thing crashed. I had to go back in the queue, and I had to get my second/third/fourth choice hotel. Exact same thing this year. I had rooms booked for me and you, Chris, and I hit reserve, and I just got kicked out of the queue. And I hit Twitter, and that happened to probably hundreds of other people, judging from all the tweets.
The timing was horrible because I had just gotten the "don't get me a room" from you because you were in the right spot, and I had finished everything, and it was too late for me to go back and add another room to my order. And it was just like seconds after that. You're like, "No, get me a room." It's like slow motion. No.
Well, and so there was that, and then on top of that, they actually messed up the ticket sales because there was supposed to be a limit of 4 passes that you could buy 4 passes,
right,
of each type. So like 4 Friday passes, 4 Saturday passes, et cetera, et cetera. But for probably the first 5 or 10 minutes of the whole schmozzle, you could only buy 2 of each kind of pass. So that was enough for me. So that's fine. But or I did fine anyway. But
they're coming for you, Layanor.
Furious about that because they were in there to buy for groups and that kind of thing. The whole thing too sold out. And keep in mind, this year Riot is not going to be at PAX, or they're not going to be at PAX 2015. So that's a big change. That's something that's being pulled out of PAX. They sold the whole thing out in 52 minutes.
Wow.
So like all 20,000 passes or whatever it is they sold. Last year it was an hour and 25 minutes. This year, 52 minutes.
Wow. And they didn't sell 4-day passes
PAX
this
is
year.
insane.
It is insane. Like the Seattle one, especially, for whatever reason, everybody is just absolutely bonkers for it. And I can understand why. It's a ton of fun, but man, it's crazy how difficult it is to get passes now.
Yeah, and it can't grow. There's no way for it to grow. It takes up the entirety of downtown.
Mm-hmm. Not true. Apparently, I've tripped over this in a thread there somewhere. They're going to be doing a gigantic expansion to the convention center.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's going to take 5 years to build, right? We're gonna be old men by the time it's done. But we're already old men, Bill.
Yeah, you're not helping. Your face is old. So anyway, so that was my excitement this week. What about yourself, Chris? What did you do?
You know what? One of the things that I did, and Harry will be very, very sad to hear this, is I went into Dragon Age multiplayer. They released a new expansion now with 3 new classes. One's kind of like a pirate with daggers and a pistol that you can do ranged and some close-up. Virtuoso, no, that wasn't an April Fool's joke. And then there's one more melee one. So the big thing about it, though, is one of the new maps, you have dragons that you fight as the final boss. And that is super duper exciting. I have yet to take down a high dragon. I had one where I was playing and the map bugged and actually part of the texture didn't load and we couldn't cross an area. So that was unfortunate. But the whole time you're going through the map, this dragon is flying overhead and attacking you with, either cold attacks or fire attacks, because there's different dragons that you can get, a few different dragons. So it's fairly exciting, and it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy the Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer. I know other people don't. I know Harry thinks it's stupid. I love it. I really, really love it. So it's fun. I actually promoted my first character the other day. My Arcane Warrior, I think it's called, which is basically the mage with a big magic sword, gets to level 20, and then I promote him. He goes back to level 1, but I get a 1 point increase to a stat. So different, like rogues increased dexterity. The mage here that I did increased, I think, wisdom, and then the warriors increased strength. So I promote it. So all my characters now, across any character that I have, has an extra +1 to intelligence or wisdom or whatever it was. So that's really, really cool. I've unlocked one of the other classes. I still have to unlock the other two. So that was a lot of fun. I can't convince either of you to jump into that, though, can I?
Buy it for me.
I have so many games ahead of it in my queue that I'm already not playing anyway. I don't want to say no, but
hey, all you listeners out there that have a PS4, like to play Dragon Age, I have it on PC too, but I'm mostly doing it on PS4. That I've got everything unlocked. But for you, Bill, I would play it on PC.
I was going to say, if you want to supply the PS4, I'll help you out.
Send me
I will
an email.
supply Dragon Age. If you supply me the PS4.
Send me an email and let me know your PSN name, and we'll get some playtime in. I'd love to play with some people. That would be a lot of fun. Other people who have the passion that I have. Come on. Bill's already talked about the Guild Wars 2. Another cool thing that happened in the last couple of weeks here is I got Diablo 3 for the PS4, and I've been playing with my son, because you have the screen share multiplayer on PS4 that you can't have on PC. So it was worth it to get a game for us to play. And it's surprisingly, for Diablo, this game that's supposed to be super dark, right? It's really not that offensive in any way. I'm not thinking that it's pushing any sort of boundaries. It's really fake violence and fake blood. None of it looks super real, right? The artistic style. So that's been a ton of fun, and he's loving it. He's playing as the ranged one, the crossbow one. Not the witch.
Dragon Hunter?
No, that's in a different game.
See what I did there?
I forget. Anyway, so I'm playing as a Crusader again, and it is absolutely pleasant. Totally and utterly pleasant. Yeah, it's fun. And then Marvel Heroes I've played, Destiny I've played, Neverwinter I've played, and I jumped into Wildstar. I'll be talking about the update in a little bit, but I really, wow, like it's been quite the change in the last little while. I really, really liked it. I'll talk about the newest update in just a little bit. So that is what I have been doing in game. Before we move on to the news, we want to mention our wonderful patrons. We are down to 26 patrons and a total of $106, which puts us a little further away from our next goal. But here's the thing, and I'm not going to mention names, but I got a really nice email from the patron who did cancel his patronage, and he was talking about how just circumstances right now means that he can't, and I just want to send a shout out to him. Not going to say names again, but thanks for being a patron while you were. Much appreciated. Good luck in finding employment, and hopefully see you in game and stuff. That would be really cool and fun. But thanks to all of our other patrons for continuing to support the network and support everything that we do. I was thinking, and I'd love to hear from everyone out there, of throwing up a goal for our Patreon campaign of bringing back Too Long Didn't Listen. So if that's something that you would all love to hear, then let me know, and I'll put that as one of our goals on the Patreon campaign. You can check it out at patreon.com/MMO Reporter.
MMO Reporter. Talk for hours about the games that bring us so much joy. And even though we rant a lot and sometimes even swear, yeah, I swear, we wouldn't do all this we wouldn't unless we care. On MMO Reporter, we really care. On MMO Reporter, we are the people who play way too many hours.
So, first news item. Before we jump into that, you have to excuse my guffaw there, but for a second, you were going to say that we were going to bring back the Angry Hobbits.
That could be a stretch goal too.
That would be a very long stretch goal. So just throw that out there. Anyway, first news of the week, biggest news of the week that's got me absolutely titillated is we've got a release date for the Oculus Rift. And when I say a release date, I mean a release quarter. Oculus has announced that Q1 2016 is when we're going to be seeing the Oculus Rift coming into your hot little hands. It'll be available for sale. They're going to be taking pre-orders probably later this year in 2015, and like I said, delivery sometime in 2016. So this is the first even relatively concrete information that we've got regarding the Oculus Rift. So, and I like I said, I'm ready for it. I've been kind of longing for new challenges for my eyes. I've been looking at ultra wide monitors. I've been looking at going for a quad monitor setup. I've been looking at going triple monitors that are all portrait orientation instead of landscape orientation. So my eyes need something new, and the Oculus Rift, I think, has to be one of those things. Rudolfo is calling it the motion sickness of vision. So that's I won't disagree, but if a little bit of motion sickness happens, it's worth it, I think. So anyway, what do you guys think? Have you put together all your pennies and you're waiting patiently for them to just take your money?
I will give them however much money they want when they launch it, because what I tried at PAX is something that I must have. It's really no question about it. It's not an if, it's a must. Because it's amazing.
I still have to try it yet. I don't know exactly what I would play yet. I'm not into many space shooters or anything like that, so I'm not exactly sure what I would use it for. So I would have to try first.
I will use it for everything. I will use it for reading Reddit.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be make Reddit better.
Yeah, you think we're joking, Layanor, but seriously, it's amazing.
Anyway, it's wild. So I've been kind of looking through, trying to find more information on what's actually been confirmed, and it's been very little. There's no specs out there or anything like that. It's the consumer release, or what they're calling CV1, is apparently based on the current Crescent Bay test version that's out there.
I thought it was supposed to be a little bit better than the Crescent Bay.
Yes, it's based on that.
Okay.
Apparently, the resolution's going to be higher. Apparently, Crescent Bay is quote unquote 1080p right now, because it's obviously not a direct translation to 1080p when you're talking about whatever it is, 180 degree vision or 270 degree vision or whatever it works out to be. But it's higher res than 1080p is what they're saying. So take that for what it's worth. Apparently, the display is going to run at, or it's supposed to be 90 hertz capable. They're kind of tuning the resolution and the performance, and as well as the video card requirements for the device to be able to deliver at that 90 hertz range. So you should get really smooth motion and have it be nice and good looking that way.
Yeah.
And which is kind of a big deal. I'm actually getting. It took me forever to actually get on board with the higher display rate or the higher refresh on monitors, but I'm starting to see a pretty significant difference looking at 120 hertz monitors compared to 60 hertz monitors, for example. So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited for that, and I'm still excited about the notion. I mean, last fall, Eurogamer reported, as well as a bunch of other people, that the price was going to fall in that $200 to $400 range, which is downright affordable for a piece of hardware like this, I think.
Oh, absolutely, and it makes, for really all purposes, that need for a big monitor in front of you obsolete. right?
I won't go as far as to say obsolete.
A big monitor, you'd still want, a 27-inch monitor, but like the big 32-inch curved widescreen is not, because what you get from that, you will get from the Oculus Rift.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, there's obviously, like Rudolfo was saying, I mean, it's not going to be for everyone. Like, it's not going to be one of those, it's not going to be like a Ready Player One world where everybody is jacked into this virtual environment. It's still going to be I think for a long time, it's probably going to be a niche piece of hardware. But, and I know for me personally, I'm still going to want a big fat wide monitor to go with my Oculus Rift.
But you know what they need to get? They need to get, because a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of the issues with motion sickness and nausea is with the 3D effect. And so if they can get it to just look like as well as having the 3D, but let's say you could flip a switch and have it be just a 2D experience in front of you, like a really huge monitor, all of a sudden I think you have even more usability.
Do you remember Chris? Yeah,
I do.
Chris,
I know me.
He does this podcast with me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I know him. Nice guy, from what I hear.
When we did the demo for the Oculus, you wear glasses as well as
yes.
I'm trying to remember, like, I know for me, I actually had challenges with both. I found when I took my glasses off, it seemed blurry, and I don't know if that was just my own little kind of expectations, if it was actually blurry or if it's just because everything looks blurry to me when I take my glasses off, or if that was a real thing. And then when I was wearing my glasses, it was just horribly uncomfortable because everything was pinched right up against my face. What did you find worked for you?
I wore my glasses both times, both at PAX Prime and at PAX East, and I had no problems either way. I had problems with smudging my lenses when I took them off. But that was the biggest problem. I didn't find them tight. I didn't find them, like, sometimes when you wear goggles or something, I feel like my eyelashes touch the lenses, and that's a real pain. No problem at all with that. I really didn't have an issue whatsoever. So, but maybe that was just, and the quality is the wrong word, but the ability of the person who was fitting me with the Oculus that just fit it better, right? Because it was, I don't know. I didn't have any issues.
That'll be interesting because that was a bit of a touchy thing for me as well, was getting it to sit right on my face in a way that would be comfortable. Like if I was going to sit down and play something for an hour, I don't think that would have gone as well.
Right.
The demo game we played, I think I was there for like 5 minutes or something like that. Yeah. And that was fine. I had fun. But I could see that I would have been uncomfortable after an hour. And hopefully they've got that. I've actually seriously considered getting LASIK surgery just so I wouldn't have to wear my glasses in the Oculus Rift.
So my experiences have been the demo that was the space sim with a controller at PAX Prime. I got the static demo, which was just sort of virtual environments that they showed you with Crescent Bay at PAX East. Then I also played DK2 on Elite Dangerous for about 10 minutes or so. And none of those times did I get sick. However, Harry did have some vertigo post Oculus Rift at the Elite Dangerous. So a little bit of sort of balance issues afterwards. Not horrible, just took him a couple minutes, but definitely noticeable. So
I'm so excited to play Elite with the Oculus on.
It was amazing. What freaked me out is when you push buttons on the joystick and the thumb in the game moves. That's not my thumb moving. When I was just out of the peripheral, I just automatically, my brain just said, "Oh, that's your arm." Because they model an arm on the exact, and the joystick that they had there was the exact same joystick that they modeled in game.
Yeah.
And so it was the freakiest thing. As the thumb moves, I'm like, I'm not moving my... What the hell? And it freaked me out a little bit.
Give me my thumb back.
It was the most awesome type of creepy I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Right? It was really like, wow. Yeah. Really.
Well, and that's where I'm excited, is not even so much because it's cool, because it's going to be a stretch of what I'm used to, and this is going to shift from
that and MechWarrior. But
experience.
I've even heard people having good experiences playing WoW with it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not first person, like even in third person, just having that environment, right? And
seriously. The other thing that I found out about this too is apparently there's going to be audio integrated into the consumer release of the Oculus Rift. So
they'll have like headphones as part of it.
That's my understanding.
So it's going to have to be 5.1 minimum, not just stereo, right?
I want to qualify everything that I've said now so far as rumors. Oculus has not confirmed any of this yet. This is just piecing together what people have said about Crescent Bay and previous releases and guessing about future releases.
That's
that kind of
what
thing.
we do here at MMO Reporter. It's unsubstantiated rumors, and we go with it.
Yeah.
That is
just
our
like
wheelhouse.
Facts. Basically like facts.
Basically.
Almost. Practically facts.
Yeah. But, okay, let's talk about
adjacent.
that. They have to do surround, right? They can't, like 7.1, 5.1. They can't do stereo.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
Well, you've got to do surround sound, and it's got to be tied in with the motion sensor as well.
Do you remember the Dolby demo that we had like 3 PAXs ago or so, where they had their chat system that they were trying to push? It never really took off, where you set the people in directions, and then as you moved your character, where the voice would come from would change. Do you remember that demo?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was right next to the Lotro booth, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, so, I mean, the technology is obviously there. It's just a matter of how much computing power are we now taking away from rendering the game. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing year or two. I mean, when you look at, obviously, the Rift coming out, you've got Valve's virtual reality system, Sony's. You've got Microsoft starting to step in with HoloLens and that kind of thing. There's just such cool stuff happening in this kind of display, virtual reality, augmented reality kind of space. It's gonna be so cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's very, 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 very cool. Oh man, I'm so there. I'm there.
How do you think Wildstar is going to look on the Oculus Rift?
Freaking amazing! It is going to look amazing, especially the new update, Invasion Nexus. The one thing that I miss now is the dev speak videos. Now that Frost is gone, Stephen Frost is gone, they can't do the dev speak videos because he was the voice of dev speak. And I miss that, but they do have a new expansion that is out, and it is looking all sorts of cool. I am looking forward to this like crazy. It is got a whole bunch of new stuff in there. It's got Bay of Betrayal, which is a new adventure. Adventures are like dungeon-ish sort of stuff, easier dungeons. And it's got all sorts of stuff going on there. A new endgame zone, elder game zone called Starcom Basin. A new raid in there. They name their raids so horribly. Initialization Core Y83. So 20-man raid, no more 40s, of course. And contracts, which are like shorter, repeatable content that can be completed while working towards obtaining high quality loot, so you get some currency and stuff like that. And they've got companion pets now. We talked about the Hollow Wardrobe last week, so I won't talk about that again. But 50 pets in game that you can check out. So tons of content here. I have jumped in game. I was working through the old Elder game zone and just jumped into Starcom for just the tiniest little bit. With a whole bunch of people running around, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But here's the thing, I've always enjoyed Wildstar. And I think had I approached it at launch in a less hardcore manner, I think I would have been playing it more regularly over time. Of course, who knows? But yeah, I really want to go back, like a lot. But too many other busy things are keeping me busy. Busy.
There was a couple of articles that I was looking at, and then I seen a really, really good video. It was about like 15 minutes long of somebody revisiting Wildstar.
Yep.
And they said that when they played it, they pretty much went in hardcore, just like all the Wildstar fans did.
Yeah.
But it felt like with him going back now after being gone, I think he said for about 6 or 7 months, that the game felt more complete and that it felt like it was a full game that should be released right now at this moment. So he was balancing like things that were when the game first came out and then how things are right now. Like they've upped the health that you get when you're going around solo and doing quests to make the questing easier. They dropped the 30-man raid down to 20 people,
40.
So you can get. Was it 40 to 20?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will get those raids running. And they have more instances now. They have a few more zones out. Do you kind of feel, too, that the game is just all well-rounded now? Or do you think it's pretty much the same thing, just with more stuff?
I always thought it was well-rounded. I didn't think it wasn't. I thought the biggest problem at launch was quality control. And that made it a lot harder to get people to stay because of bugs. And when you're dealing with hard content, you have to have that be the only source of frustration, right? Because that's something you can overcome. When you have done everything right and a bug runs up your last boss fight before you get your attunement, before you get your gold, you needed gold in all those dungeons before to get your attunement. That was something that drove a lot of people away, and that was incredibly prevalent in the discussions in my guild with friends that I had that I wanted to play with that had come over from Rift. It was really constant. So it seems like now, there's always going to be bugs in any game. WoW has been, the biggest game out for a very long time. It still has bugs when things come out. It's about making sure that you minimize them and that it's not the biggest experience is fighting the bugs. And so that was the biggest thing at launch. I think now there's tons of content and there is no way that you could go into Wildstar and say, I have nothing to do. There's just so much that's there. It is still hard. It is still very active. You can't just turn off your brain and grind through stuff as you could with like Lotro, right? I can put on Netflix and I can watch shows and put, 75% of my attention on the show I'm watching, 25% on Lotro, and I make it through just fine. Oh, yeah. Whereas with Wildstar, I can't watch Netflix. I have to focus on the game. So it still has that element to it. And a lot of people like that grindy part of it. And they can't get that. So if anybody played Wildstar, I think they should go check it out again if they can check out the subscription. I think I'm going to take the cred challenge like I did for the credit challenge, the gold challenge for WoW. I'm going to play maybe at some point before the end of the summer and see how easy it is to get enough platinum to get cred, which is their version of the token where you can use in-game gold to buy game time, and see how that goes. Because if that's worthwhile, then everyone should check it out. Right now, though, I do think the biggest impediment is a subscription, and that has less to do with actually paying for it and more to do with the current thought about, well, if you have a subscription, you're stupid. I really think there's a huge stigma against games with subscriptions. Whether or not they're worth it matters little in the world right now. There's so much choice that whether a game has enough content, has enough fun in there to warrant a subscription does not matter. People have options that don't take a subscription. And therefore there's that stigma. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense.
It makes sense, but also, there are so many really good games that don't have subscriptions that people can just easily look over Wildstar as well.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I agree. So, yeah, you should. There's tons of stuff there. Go check it out. All right, let's talk really quickly about our sponsors, Audible. Go to audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter. There is so much stuff that you can check out at Audible. I think it's 18,000 books that you can check out. The subscription is incredibly reasonable. It's just absolutely fantastic. I have had an Audible subscription a few times, and I still have all those audiobooks that I can use, and it's just really, really cool. So you should go check it out. 180,000 audio programs. And if you just go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter, you can get started today. It's really cool. Go check it out. And, of course, our friends over at Doghouse Systems. Use the coupon code MMO Reporter at doghousesystems.com for a free 120 gig SSD with your purchase. Go check out a Doghouse computer. And our PAX East sponsors, Muteki, go check out Dragon Fantasy. We'll have a URL in the show notes, but just go to Steam, check out Dragon Fantasy. If you like your old school JRPGs, this is one that you've got to check out. And now, our last little bit
build a snow
of the news.
Come on, let's go and play. I never see you LFG come out the door. It's like you've gone AFK. We used to be dungeon buddies, and now we're not. I wish you would tell me why. Do you want to build a snow char?
Doesn't have to be a snow char.
Go away, Chris.
Okay, bye.
I like it when she tells you to go away.
Yeah, everybody does. It's everybody's favorite part.
Okay,
That's okay.
Chris.
Yes.
Bill, this is really, really big news. If I told you guys that if you went into Star Wars The Old Republic right now and played the game, they have a buff that's going on for everybody who's subscribing that you will get 12 times the experience than you normally would. Would you go and race each other to get to the max level right now?
Can I turn off my helmet without paying for that yet? Because
Do you have a helmet?
That's kind of a big deal.
Is Bill awake?
Bill is not awake. You can hear him gently snoring in the background. It's quite soothing, in fact.
No, I'm actually logging in right now.
There's Bill's answer right now.
Chris, you're losing time.
No, we don't need another race. We don't need another race.
So this buff
Bill's
is
just gonna
going
win.
on. It's going on right now. It started on Monday, and it's no joke. It's 12 times the amount of experience that you can get with all your quests, and I think it's with killing monsters and everything. So you can level up really, really fast. And surprisingly enough, this buff is going to be lasting all the way until fall. I'm guessing until like Christmas. So
That's a long time.
If anybody wants to level up your characters really fast, go and do it now. You're going to have a lot of fun. If for some reason you don't want to level, they do have an item that you can purchase for 0 cartel points that will allow you to get the normal amount of experience. So if you don't want to level past somebody or something like that, you can grab that. But yeah, that's crazy. 12 times.
Yeah, that's good that they put that in there right away, because and this may be my Lotro background coming through a little bit. Every time I hear about XP boosts, the back of my mind says, no, the community will go nuts. No. Lock XP. Why can't we lock XP yet?
Well, and this is where, I mean, this is the big hook for the Old Republic, though, too, because basically you can get yourself up to max level, or probably get yourself up to max level, just by doing the story quest for the Old Republic. You don't have to stop and do side quests. You don't have to grind XP or anything like that to catch yourself up. You just basically play the natural successor to Knights for the Old Republic, and bang, you're there. You don't have to do anything else, and then they hook you. Because I don't want to play anything else in the game, but space combat seems a little fun, so I'll just try that once. Oh, interesting. Oh, then we'll do this. And then you're hooked. Either that, or they just want you to subscribe for a little while and then forget to unsubscribe.
Yeah, there's that.
Like, yeah.
Speaking of that, where's my WoW subscription? I don't think I'll be jumping back in. I've gone through the story on a couple of characters. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I've gone back a couple different times. Space combat didn't quite scratch that itch. I was really excited about it for a bit. Yeah, I just don't even, when I play it now and I've gone back in, it doesn't even give me that yay. The linear space combat, though, I could go in and play that all day. Like the only person in the world who loves that. You remember the old missions? They're totally on rails, and
Yep.
yeah, I love those. Love that, but you have to pay to get. You only get a certain amount per week, or you have to pay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Any more thoughts about SWTOR? No. Rudofo in the chat room says the game is dying. Speaking of dying, Crowfall, with its dying world, has a new combat update saying, basically, as Bill said it, we're going to try really, really hard not to make this suck. Did I get it about right, Bill?
Oh no, I said they're working hard to make it real good. That's all the details we got. So,
well, they talk a little bit about,
I guess for a game that's pre-alpha basically right now, that's
pre-alpha as the terminology they use. Yeah. But they do talk about the fact that, even the people who do get into this pre-alpha, which is they're gonna go via, Kickstarter backers and et cetera, they're not gonna have any NDA. So they're gonna be able to get in, which is kind of cool. So go check it out. We'll have a link in the show notes. I wanted to talk, not in a huge detail, but I also wanted to talk about a dev diary that the Skyforge people put out. Now, I did play the Skyforge beta, a couple of the Skyforge betas, and I wasn't blown away by it, but this invasion system seems kind of interesting. Now, everybody think back to Rift and its rifts and its invasions and the way that worked think of that as big as it was as a small scale thing. Mm-hmm. The invasions that they're going to do in Skyforge are going to be week long or week and a bit long affairs. They are going to take over the entire world, and you're going to have missions that you can go out to from the main hub in 3, 5, 10-man groups, and you're going to be able to fight off these invasions. And they're going to have different types of invasions, mechanical ones, different world ones. Basically, what's happening here is the story behind Skyforge is that the one god, the one major god for the world, has gone away. So all these other gods are trying to invade. Players are demigods who rise up through the leveling process to godhood, and they're gods by the time they get to endgame. And so they're going to fight off these invading armies from other worlds. And the cool thing about it, one, is they're long-term. There's a whole bunch of different things. If players win, there's going to be a server-wide buff, and players are going to be able to go back and raid the ruins of the invaders for gear and loot. And if they lose, there's not going to be a buff, and there'll be a destroyed area. Players can visit there too, but there won't be as much that you can get there. So it's kind of interesting to take this Guild Wars 2 Rift type system and put it on this large scale format, scope, I guess, for lack of a better term. Bill, does that sound interesting to you?
No.
Really?
I don't know. I feel there's just, I don't know. Skyforge doesn't do it for me.
No, but don't just look at look at this system. Like, if they put this system in another game that you were more interested in about, does the system itself sound interesting? Or is the wrapper that it's wrapped in just putting you off too much?
I'm really trying hard not to be influenced by the fact that I just don't care about Skyforge that much yet. But I don't know. Yeah.
The system
Layanor, what about you?
The system sounds cool, but you know what? I hate to be kind of negative on this, but if I'm not playing the game at the time and there are areas that are being lost because of these weekly things and things, we don't get the buff, we don't get we don't get to do an instance or something like that, get gear from that area anymore, I'm kind of not going to be going back again to, I don't know, unless there's a way to reopen that area open again. Otherwise, I'm not going to be
Yes,
going in
it's
there
a couple
very
of
often.
days. It's a couple of days after the invasion that there's a destroyed area, or that you can go loot that ship. So it's only a couple of days afterwards, win or lose, that you get the rewards or the bad stuff.
Okay. So yeah, if the area heals,
Yeah,
and it's not my fault because I didn't show up that week.
right.
Okay.
Like
The
I
system
said,
sounds cool anyway.
yeah, I'm not super keen on Skyforge either. I'll play it a little bit more and see if I can get a better idea on it. I just got a little bored while I was playing it. But this system does seem really exciting to me. I don't know if I'll get to play it because it seems like it's really based on, the guys who are going to get the most out of this are the end game people. And I don't know if I'll ever get there for Skyforge. But it seems really, really interesting. So I'll try and check it out. Excuse me. And last but not least, we want to talk a little bit about Echo of Soul, which we talked about, I think, last week or the week before. And their PvP. They've got some new PvP stuff. We'll link to the trailer here. Bill, you thought it was very colorful.
It's pretty. Like it's pretty.
Yeah, it looks, to me, this looks so much like Aeon and Lineage and that sort of art direction. It's really hard for me to not think it's one of those games.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I thought I was, especially looking at the characters anyway, it reminds me a lot of Guild Wars 2, except
say that.
a lot more vibrant. Like the colors and the colors of the characters, the colors of the special effects that go with the abilities. Like, it really is, it's a color palette thing more than anything else. It just pops.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of fast-paced stuff for the PvP. There's going to be, what was it in the news release, like 15 different battlegrounds that people can go into. And it's benefiting from, already having launched in Korea, I believe it is. So, it's got the balancing better than if it was just launching here, more battlegrounds, etc. So we've got the trailer here linked. You can go check it out. I think... I wasn't blown away by it at PAX, but it was a 15-minute play session through a dungeon that I was doing. So, seemed very derivative of that Aeon Lineage style of game. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about Star Marine, the Star Citizen FPS update. They just put out some news about it today. We hadn't had a chance to digest that yet, so we'll be talking about it next week. I did throw a link in the show notes for those of you who want to see it sooner. You can just go to the website to check that out. It's Star Citizen still. I mean, it's going to be big. Mm-hmm. Whether it's great and big or a great big bomb, I think we have to wait and see. I have a feeling it's going to be the former. It's going to be pretty big and pretty awesome. All right, that is a show, gentlemen. Bill, if people want to get a hold of us, how would they do that?
There are a bunch of different ways. You can head over to MMOReporter.com to check out our website. You can send us emails to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. You can visit us on Facebook, facebook.com/MMOReporter. You can tweet at any of the MMO reporters, either at MMO_reporter for Chris, at Harry Hall for the in absentia Harry Hall, at Layanor for the not in absentia Layanor, at MMO Bill for yours truly. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778 to leave us a voicemail. As long as there's at least 12% of the content that's not swear words, we'll probably put it on the show and let you share your words with the rest of the MMO Reporter community. You can check out our Zerg ID profiles, either Almazar for Chris, Woe for yours truly, and Layanor for Layanor. You can head over to YouTube, youtube.com/MMO Reporter Network for all of our YouTube channelizations. And finally, if you've got just too much money and you don't even know what to do with it all, head over to MMOReporter.com/support for a few different options to help keep the bits flowing through the MMO Reporter Network.
Absolutely. And as we were talking about PAX, we would love your support so that we can, although we love our sponsors and our sponsors are fantastic, it's nice when you can get right to the content of our PAX videos without having to have the sponsor mentioned first. So if you want to help us out with that and try and keep us sponsor free for PAX Prime 2015, check out our Patreon campaign. Gentlemen, it has been absolutely a pleasure recording with you tonight. Absolutely a pleasure. Layanor, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bill, as always, just absolutely intolerable.
It was pain inside. I'd just like to put out there that we have a very, very, very long stretch goal on Patreon to get Jennifer Lawrence to come with us to PAX. So if we hit that very, very deep Patreon goal, we're going to get that to happen. Just saying.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Anyways,
especially when I'm looking up a nude patch for Minecraft.
Moving along from that note,
this show was exactly 1 minute too long.
Thanks everyone for listening.
fault.
Thanks to our chat room for coming out and hanging out. Always fun to see everyone there. Thanks to those of you at home for downloading and listening to the podcast. We hope that you download it again next week, but most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOReporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOReporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.